have already taken out Chromebook from the box, and these are the stuff that comes alongside your Chromebook. Let's start with user guide. The user guide is completely in English. You can always take the help from your English language teacher to guide you what is written in it. This is a very fun and interesting learning practice, so keep it safe and always take a look at it back and forth. Then you have this warranty card. As these devices are provided by SAVTE, so we are responsible for any kind of warranty claim and returns. So please make sure that you keep it safe, and whenever you return it to us in case of damage or your program has been over and you need to return it, please make sure that warranty card is attached with it. Then with the charger, your charger is detachable and it comes in two parts. When you open the box, it comes in two parts. So here is this main lead which connects from the socket, and the other part is connect from the laptop. So you can easily connect them. You can easily attach them by looking into the pin's direction and just putting it like this. The interesting thing about this charger is that its pin is rather different than our typical Android smartphones. So please do not confuse it. With this Android pin. So now, this is pretty much how our Chromebook looks like. You can see it. So we are provided a couple of jacks here. So this jack is for your charger. So you put your charging pin in it. This is your HDMI. With HDMI, you can connect this laptop, this Chromebook, to your LED, LCD, or projector, depending upon whichever setting you like to have. Then you have a USB connector. So for example, I want to connect my mouse into it, so I can really connect it into it. Plus, I also use a USB device or anything with this jack. Then this is our SSD card option. So if you need more storage, for example, this Chromebook comes with 35 GB storage. So if you want more storage, you can always put in a memory card into it and then increase the storage of it. Then in this side, you have your earphone or headphone connector. When you open it, it automatically starts. This is the keyboard. This keyboard is a little different than the usual laptops that we have. So I'll explain it about the keyboard and the use of shortcut keys in the next video. Now let's move on to the inner sections of our Chromebook. So this is how our Chromebook basically looks like from the inside. You can see. Before moving ahead with the keyboard, I'd like to show you one very important aspect, that how our Chromebook is bendy. See, it can completely turn to 180 degree, and this feature, you can use it in so many ways. So let's start with the first rows of keys. So beginning from the right hand side, you see that this is the start button. You can start your laptop with this button and also shut down your laptop with this button. So these are your sound control keys. This means mute, means you cannot hear anything that is happening on your laptop. To unmute it, you have to click this key, and this is how your sound, you can clearly see in this that your sound is now open. This key is also used to increase the sound. So you see that this is moving ahead, means the sound is increasing. And this is to lower the sound, and see when you just press it, this little circle is going back now. So these are your sound control keys. These are very important, and you always have to make sure that you'll see that your computer is on mute or it is unmute, because when you're using Zoom, this is the very common mistake that we all do. I'll explain it later in the Zoom video, so you'll have more idea what I'm saying right now. Then let's move on here. These are the brightness keys. So for example, I'm right now using my laptop in daylight. So I need to have increased brightness. So I always increase my brightness. So you can see it on a screen. When I'm increasing the brightness, the screen is getting brighter and brighter, and you can feel the difference on this video. But when I use my laptop in nighttime, I do not really need much of the brightness at that time. So what I do is I always decrease the brightness. So you see that by pressing this key, the screen is getting much darker. What kind of brightness setting do you like on your laptop? It completely depends on you. But make sure of two things. One is whichever brightness level is there on your laptop is going to consume as much that battery. So you want to save your battery. If you want to save your charging, you should use your laptop in the minimum brightness, because brightness really affects the battery. And plus, number two is the brightness affects your eyes. So the much higher brightness could affect your eyes really badly. So make sure that you use the brightness on minimum or medium level. This key helps you to see that how many windows I have open. So for example, right now I'm using WhatsApp and Chrome. So it just shows me which window I was using. That's it. So when you click it, it opens how many windows I was using, how many applications are open right now in my laptop. Although I'm not a really much fan of this key, so I don't really much use it. This key is pretty interesting. So for example, you can see on my screen that my screen is not maximized, and it's pretty much small from the size of the screen. So I want to see the bigger window. So what do? Is I click this one, and it will go to full screen. So now you see that my window is completely open and it's completely covering the area. So this is what this key do. And when I click it again, it goes back to its size. So you just have to do this. So you have to use this key when you see some windows in a bigger size. This is another interesting key. So this key is for the refreshing of the page when you are Googling something and when you have got Chrome open. So what you do is when you just hit this key, this page starts to get refreshed. So this is what it does. This key, these two keys are again used for the browser. So this is just backward and forward on the browser. And this is escape. Escape has different functions. Maybe we use escape in Zoom. I'll show you what actually its function is. So we'll explain it in the later videos. Okay. So this is our most popular backspace key, and that backspace key is used for removing and deleting stuff. This is our enter key. I know that these guys haven't mentioned enter on it, so you may get confused, but this is an enter key. You just have to remember that. This is our shift, the other most popular key. This is our set of arrows key. You can go up, you can go down, you can go left, you can go right. This is control. This is alt grade. What does alt grade key and control key does? I'll explain it to you later in further part of this video. Then we have space bar. Then we have got alt key again, and then we have control, shift, and this is a search bar. So basically, whenever you hit search bar, this option will appear on you. This option will appear, so you can either search something from this bar, or you can just further go into the options. We'll explain it later, but this is what this magnifying glass does it. Okay. So this is here again tab. These are our numeric keys, and we have some of the symbols on it. Touchpad that we have here. This touchpad is also different from the other laptops. Why? Because whenever we see other laptops, we have this left and right click, and usually we use left click for all of the stuff that we want to open, and we use right click for the further options that we want. So what happened is, in this laptop, you are not given a left or right click, but you can still do left and right click by using your fingers. So when you use one finger on the touchpad, it is left click, and when you use two fingers on your touchpad, these are right click. So for example, in very easy way, if I can explain you, I'm using one finger on this touchpad, and when I do it, I open the application. Now I'm using two fingers on this touchpad and see what I can do. I'll get more options from this application. So these are the basically little differences in the interface that you have when you're using Chromebook. As I've mentioned, that I'm going to explain you the function of Control and Shift because these are the most commonly used keys. So another most important thing that you notice in this keyboard is that it doesn't have caps lock. So caps lock is the key that capitalizes the letter whenever you need to write capital letters in computer. So when caps lock key is not present, instead of that key, we use actually Shift to replace that function. Actually, there is another function to open caps lock in Chromebook, but that is quite difficult. So right now I'm not telling you that, but I will tell you in the end of the whole video series when you're almost equipped with whatever you are doing. When the caps lock is not available on your keyboard, you use Shift key instead. So how you use it, just look at me that how I'm doing it. So for example, I need to write something in capital letters. So what I do is I press Shift key and hold. Now please be very careful in this, that you do not have to press Shift key and leave. You have to press Shift key and hold. And with holding one key from one hand, you're going to write whichever thing that you want to write on the screen. So see, I have write learner, and that learner comes in all caps. So this is what Shift key can give you an advantage of. And when you just leave Shift key and when you write something, it will be in small letters. So this is how you write something in capital letter in Chromebook, because we do not have a caps lock key. Another important function of Shift key is that when you press and hold Shift key, you can write the symbols mentioned on these keys. So for example, when you just write 1, you just press 1 and you'll see 1 on the screen. But maybe you do not want to write 1 and you want to write the symbol of exclamation on 1. So what you do is you press and hold Shift. You cannot leave the Shift key again, so make sure you do not leave it. You press and hold, and holding, you just press 1 again, and see, we have got explanation. So I'm repeating it. Press and hold Shift key, and then press it again, and we'll have exclamation mark. So this is another use of Shift, and this could be used on any of the keys. For example, this key also has 2 functions. So when you press it 1, you see a normal oblique sign, but when you press it with Shift, you see a bar. So this is being used in these keys as well, these keys as well, these keys as well, and these keys as well. So you see that wherever there are 2 functions written on one key, you can always use Shift to use the other option. So this is the another use of Shift. Then there is there are few other keys that if you see on the keyboard which have 3 functions on it. For example, 4. 4 has 4, then have a dollar sign and have a euro sign. So what would you do if you need to write euro? Because, for example, if I want to write 4, I just press 4. When I need to write dollar, I do shift, press, hold, and write it, and then comes dollar. But now what would I do to get a euro sign? I'll use Alt Great key, press, hold, Alt Great key, and press, and we'll get the euro. So on any other key which has 3 functions, like 4 and like this key in the corner, for the third function, you use Alt Great key. So this is how your keyboard looks like. Another very important feature to note in the keyboard is the shortcut keys. Although I know that you guys are on a beginner level, I'm not going to tell you very difficult kind of complex advanced shortcut keys, but what I can offer you right now is one very simple commonly used shortcut key which even you need it. For example, you are learning English and you sometimes need to copy paste some of the stuff that your teacher gives you so that you can translate it to your own language. And then you can you need to copy paste some of the stuff and into Google Translate to translate into your own language, and you can understand it better then. So for that purpose, there is when you do it in phone, it's kind of easy, but when you do it on laptop, it's kind of different. So we use shortcut keys to do that. So how do we do that? For example, this is your touchpad. You just take the cursor. This is what we call cursor to the word that you would like to translate. For example, I want to like to translate learner. So how do we do it? We take the cursor to the word which we want to copy. So to copy, now what I'm doing is I'm using my one finger, because my one finger means left click. I click over there, and then you see that your cursor comes up blinking over there. Then from there, what I do is, if you just copy what I'm doing with my fingers, I'm using my other hand, and what I do is I just move ahead with the word, and when I just move ahead with the word, I have created this blue outline onto the word, and this blue outline means that I have selected the word. And when I have selected the word, what I do is I use a shortcut key, and the shortcut key is Control, press and hold, and C. C for copy. So what we have done is we have copied it. Now you need to paste it somewhere. So what you do is you use a shortcut key again. What you do is press and hold Control key and go to V, and see, we have pasted it. So Control C for the copy and Control V for the paste. So these are the most common shortcut keys that we use in our daily life, and it will be really, really beneficial for you to use alongside your Google Translate. I will further explain these keys and further explain the function of Google Translate and other things in the other tutorial. So now this is it from our interior and exterior outlook of our Chromebook. And we're going to in the further videos, we're going to discuss about Zoom, how to use Chrome, how to use Google Doc, and all of that stuff.